Hello everyone.
Hi.
I am Madhurima Sappatti, a freedom soul coach who loves to help multi-passionate, ambitious dreamers manage their stress and burnout so that they can go ahead and manifest their dreams without their own selves holding them back. Now, I just did an amazing 4-week container with my lovely friend and talent, Kat Irwin. Woohoo! And I just wanted to have an opportunity to create a space where we can ask each other questions and share how that experience was like and see what worked, what didn't work. So, you ready to dive in?
Yes, super ready.
Wonderful. So, Kat, please go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience who are listening to us or watching us right now.
Perfect. So my name's Kat. I live in Germany, in Berlin, and I work as a web designer. And I focus on helping kind of small businesses or entrepreneurs get confident about their website so they can take the next steps in their business.
Ooh, I love that. I love that. So, I'm going to jump right into it. Kat, before we met, how was stress showing up in your life?
So I think stress in my life, it wasn't kind of maybe the traditional way I think about stress. Like when you think of a stressed person, they're like very trying to do everything quickly, like not enough time, like stressing out in this way. But I had like, I guess, quite a few little areas where that were giving me stress. So like how things I was doing in my business or like ways I was thinking about certain things, which were causing me little bits of stress everywhere.
How was the stress that was occurring in your life affecting you?
I think it was more kind of an annoyance. But so it was an annoyance, but then that led me to kind of get more like down on myself. So because I couldn't deal with these things, I was taking it as like my fault and then feeling more negative about myself. So I think one of the things that we spoke about was imposter syndrome. And it's kind of, I think for everyone, it's always there in some sense. And then I had just sort of accepted that it was there. I was like, I can't do anything about this. So like, I'm always going to feel impostery. Which then like, I think this is really bad once you accept something. And then, because I didn't know how to get over it. So I was just like, okay, that's how it is. I'm just going to suffer forever. So like, which is obviously not positive.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And I kind of agree with what you're saying. There are times when you accept the bad thing, you accept kind of being held back by yourself, and then you suddenly realize, you know what, hold on, what was life like before this? What was life without this thing holding me back? What made you actually want to work with me? What was the thing that made you go, you know what? Let me give this a shot with Madhurima.
Mm-hmm. So obviously you have a really good energy. So you're very easy to talk to. Yeah. But I think also you are very knowledgeable. Like whenever I do ask you a question, it feels like, you're not just like reciting an answer. You understand really the topic. You've done your reading, like I feel like you can always give me an answer that's specific to me, not just something you've read on Wikipedia or whatever. So that's good.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So, can you actually, share with us what were some of the things that we worked on together during our coaching sessions?
Yeah, so we did imposter syndrome, which was always like a big thing for me. And then balance. So like learning how to balance my time with work time and then also making the most out of my business. So it was like big picture, but then also smaller things, like how I can run my business in a way that won't make me stressed and will make me feel good every day. So those ones. And then also goals. So for me, I was always setting goals, but never really like celebrating them when I got to them. So I just felt like I was going around always in like this circle, which was causing me a lot of stress because I was like, I'm not achieving anything. But then actually I am. So talking about like goal setting, imposter syndrome, and balance in my life.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, I wanted to ask you, when we kind of had an understanding of these were the topics that we were going to discuss over the course of the 4 weeks, even though we were doing individual sessions and we were working on each particular topic in a particular session, did you have any kind of limiting beliefs that showed up for you that made you go like, you know what, I don't think I can do this or something along those lines?
Yeah, definitely. I think around these topics, especially imposter syndrome, there's like so much information out there, which I feel like I've read stuff or listened to podcasts about it, and just nothing seemed to stick. So I was like, probably it's not going to work this time anyway, you know?
Yeah.
Like that sort of acceptance. I was just like, yeah, we might talk about it, but I probably didn't really see me actually kind of getting to the other side.
Yeah.
Which then I did.
Oh, yay. That was kind of my next question. Like, did you have any mindset shift around that? Did any mindset shifts occur during our 4-week sessions?
Yeah, I think because we talked about stuff like bigger picture, but then also, which is really good, but then also in the moment when I feel stressed or I'm feeling negative or something, you did provide a lot of like actual kind of exercises or thought processes to deal with the stress in the moment, which I've really noticed that now when I am working and something is happening, then it's like in there, you know? So one of the things with the imposter syndrome you suggested is like, when I get a good feedback from someone, is like write it down and put it in a little jar. So my jar is filling up, which I have it like next to my computer. And also, so I see the jar every day, which makes me feel nice. But then also now when I get good feedback on work, or I don't know, compliments on social media or whatever, I do think about that. It's, I guess, like that thought process is there, that I'm like, oh, this is a good thing. You're not an imposter. So
Yeah. Oh,
that's been really good. Yeah.
I love that. What was one of the best exercises? And again, we did a lot of exercises in our 4-week coaching session. What was one of the best exercises that you absolutely loved and you continue to do even till this date?
So the imposter syndrome one that I said, I think also because we talked about goals, and one of the things you said to, like, throughout the day, set like an alarm to kind of appreciate the moment or like be thankful for something, which I'm doing specifically. I think not, maybe it wasn't in the coaching with us, but in Stress Busters, you said like when you wake up, like take that moment and be like grateful. Which is also like really changed my day as well. Like I wake up and I'm like, oh, you know, even if I'm like, oh, I get to design websites today. But, you know, I'm like, I know I'm doing something that I enjoy doing. So yeah, it's changed like my waking up process, and then I'm happier during the day. So
yeah, I love that for you. Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What was your biggest takeaway from the 4-week sessions? And you can speak about individual takeaways from all the 4 sessions, or you can speak about one big takeaway, or however you wanna, you know, the stage is yours, however you wanna go about this.
So I've mentioned before, but so like looking at the bigger picture, but then also breaking it down into smaller steps. So now I guess when I'm looking at something that stresses me out in my business, I will look at like overall, why is it stressing me out, what I can do about it, but then also taking the steps. What do I do in that specific moment when I feel that? So I guess it's made me think more like, can I say, intentionally about how I handle stress, rather than like, oh, I'm stressed, okay, like take a break, like go for a walk, which is, I guess, like generally things that people suggest, like, oh, just calm down, you know, meditate or something like this, which is like not super helpful. So I think now I can think about stress and burnout in a different way than before.
I love that,
which is great.
Yeah, I love that.
It seems also much more like manageable now. You know, before I think like burnout and stress is like these big, like nasty words. Now I'm like, I got this shit.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love that. All right. So actually, you know, here's something funny about the 4-week thing that we were doing. I just wanted to do it to kind of gather more info and understand a bit more about where people were at right now. And because I had such a wonderful time coaching Kat during this 4-week coaching program, I decided to kind of name it Aarambh and create a small program around it. So now I actually have something called as Agni, which is a 7-week coaching program that actually helps people go from working on their mindset to figuring out triggers to actually understanding how their body reacts to stress to then figuring out core triggers, replacing it and creating new thought patterns in the old patterns, in the old thought processes and limiting beliefs, and actually work on that. So I actually had a 7-week program around stress and burnout, but working with Kat, I actually realized that I really enjoy doing even one-on-one sessions with no necessary target or destination towards the end. Like this is the pathway that we will follow. I love having pathways. I feel like that's really powerful. And especially with stress and burnout, it's really powerful to remind your clients that you got this. You just have to kind of follow along the path, and we can work on this together and figure out where we want to go. But I also genuinely enjoyed doing these one-on-one sessions with you, Kat, where there was no set destination. So it was a really exploration of figuring out what was working for you and what wasn't, and how we could go about this. So I genuinely enjoyed doing this with you, and I decided to create a program around it. So Kat, how did Aarambh, the 4-week coaching program, support you as a whole?
So yeah, I really loved that it was individual to me. Like on the first day we met, you said like, what are 4 things that you'd want to talk about? And then I think even on, maybe it was the last week or the 3rd week, I said like, oh, I don't know about talking about this. Can we talk about this instead? So even changing it in that last moment, it really helped that it was specific to me and my stresses rather than like, this is general what people deal with,
Yeah.
I really like that.
I love that.
Well, I think having it individualized made it more kind of relevant to me. And yeah, I think I maybe said this to you before, that I loved having like the one-on-one conversations, and it was very much a safe space. Like I think you were very respectful about, okay, this is quite sensitive topics for no, yeah, when we got into the more sensitive areas, you were like, on if you feel comfortable sharing. And yeah, I felt very safe talking to you. Yeah, so I was very supported.
I love that. I love that. What was the best thing about Aarambh for you?
I really liked, now how I think about it, like the way that my mind changed towards stress. So I guess like the takeaway from it. So I had fun during the 4 weeks, but then once the 4 weeks ended, I feel like I'm still able to put what I learned into place. It wasn't just like, oh, this is 4 weeks, and then I would go back to being stressed. I feel like it's actually made an impact in how I'm doing stuff. So
oh, I love that. Okay, so what was, how did it feel to have a coach like me in your corner while you were going through this process?
Good. I mean, you are very supportive. You have like really positive energy, just mainly supported, I think, and just like I could sort of say anything to you and it would be okay,
Yeah. Oh, I love that. What was the best part about working with me?
It's fun. So I think when it comes to, especially like, I guess, coaching around stress, maybe people assume that these conversations are going to be like stressful or negative, and it's really not. I like that we could talk about these very bad, like negative things in a nice way. So it didn't seem so bad.
I love that. What is something that you would like to say to people who are interested in joining Aarambh and who want to kind of do a one-on-one session for just a few weeks to figure out where they are with their stress and kind of work on their instant stress points, but they're kind of on the fence about working with me or joining Aarambh? What would be something that you'd like to tell to them?
So definitely that you're very supportive and very respectful also. And if you are not sure, I think it's then a good program because it's personalized. It's not too long, but it's kind of just long enough to cover like bigger issues. And yeah.
I love that. Thank you so much. Any last few things that you'd like to say to anyone who's watching this before I give you my heartfelt gratitude?
Book with Madhurima. No, yay. I mean, I just really enjoyed like the process working with you. I mean, I've said it like 4 or 5 times now. It was really fun. Just you were really supportive the whole time. And yeah, I'm so happy that I actually have like actual ways to deal with stress now. So yeah.
Oh, I love that.
5 stars.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
welcome.
Kat, for hopping on this wonderful call with me and sharing your experience with anyone and everyone out there. One last thing, actually, you know what? Did you have any issues with the program as such? Like, was there any negative aspects to being in Aarambh?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it was the way that we worked together anyway was really flexible. So I felt like I could say to you, like, oh, can we change this? Or, you know, talk about something else or maybe change the appointment time. So yeah, it was all just really nice experience.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. Oh my gosh.
You're welcome. And thank you to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I genuinely enjoyed working with you. Super hyped. Thank you so much.